Support for the show comes from Anthropic, the team behind Claude. There's a certain kind of person who delights in spending hours figuring something out. For them, this kind of work isn't a waste of time. It's an irresistible pursuit of the aha moment when everything clicks. And that's exactly the kind of thinking that Claude was designed to do, to skip over the easy answers and dig into the deep stuff. Try Claude for free at claude.ai/fashion neurosis and see why problem solvers choose Claude as their thinking partner. Hi, come in. Welcome to Fashion Neurosis, David Byrne.
Thank you. You'll fix me in the course of this.
I'll do my utmost, but maybe you'll fix me.
Maybe.
Can you tell me what you're wearing today and why you chose these particular clothes?
I'm wearing, I think, everything except my shoes and my underwear. I just bought on the road. I'm on tour right now and have been for quite a number of months. And so you just go, I need some trousers. So I was in Columbus, Ohio, and I went into a Target. I was in Basel, and I got a nice turtleneck. And then I was coming back from the Hayward here, and I saw a shop with a nice jacket. I got myself a jacket, and I thought, I'll wear those things are all new. I'll wear new clothes for this.
They're very good. You haven't got into the habit of having someone choose things for you. Have you always chosen your own things?
Yes, I usually choose my own things, and yeah.
Because I find if I get too much help with my appearance, I forget that I know how to do things for myself and become a kind of infantilize myself. And it's very easy to do that, just assume that somebody else knows better how you look. So I'm impressed with what you've pulled out of the bag.
I can imagine it might be nice to have someone, kind of an extra eye, telling you, oh, you look good in that, but not kind of false, not in a false way, but saying, that looks good on you, that other thing does not.
Yes. Yeah, that's always a good thing. And I remember where I was standing when I first heard Talking Heads in 1976, and I was about 14 or 15 with fellow teens, and we listened to a cassette, and it was instant love. And I just always remember Psycho Killer, Qu'est-ce que c'est? And I wondered where the French comes in, why you chose French.
I imagined that this demented person would have pretensions of sophistication, and so he would occasionally pepper his speech with bits of French.
It's such a fantastic song. I can feel it as we're talking. And was there ever an item of clothing you focused on or longed for as a child?
As a child, I was probably influenced by the various TV shows and things that I'd seen. Like maybe I wished I could look like a cowboy, or I could look like a spaceman, or maybe a kind of James Bond type spy. And I thought, those are really cool people. I should try and look like that.
And was there like a garment that you ever got that you felt kind of started to compound your identity as you felt it?
I remember once back in the day, I had a white plastic raincoat.
Oh,
And I would
wow.
wear that around. It had a practical use, but it was not very attractive.
How old were you then?
Oh, I might have been in my early 20s.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I had pretensions like, I'm going to try and have a look.
Because you've talked about being extremely shy, and what's your introvert extrovert ratio? And I wondered, when does your extrovert feel safe to come out?
I think over the years, I'm not that young anymore, but over the decades, I've become less shy and more comfortable around people. Although during one of the breaks on our tour, I went to a dinner party, and afterwards I said to my wife, I think I failed dinner party. I didn't. I just sat there and I barely talked. She gave me some handy tips.
What were the tips?
Think of something to talk about. Yes.
And what?
Right, which I have done from time to time, and sometimes that's a disaster as well. I remember at another dinner party, I started telling the folks there about a book I was reading about eels.
Oh,
It's
God.
really fascinating. The life of an eel is really fascinating. I was told maybe that wasn't the best dinner subject.
Yeah, apparently Sigmund Freud studied eels.
He did.
Early on in his career.
His name comes up.
Oh, right.
He failed to find their sexual organs.
God, really? Is that
Yes,
what he was searching
He was
for?
dissecting them in Trieste, and he was hired to try and find their sexual organs, which apparently don't appear until a certain part of their life cycle. And so he was never going to find them.
God, that's so interesting. I knew the eel bit, but I didn't know anything more. I mean, I don't know a huge amount about him, so I like hearing it from other people.
Mm-hmm.
Your dance moves are very specialized and mesmerizing. I wondered, whose dancing did you like to watch when you were a teenager, and were you influenced by any particular choreography?
As a teenager, I remember seeing, well, all sorts of things. You'd see Fred Astaire.
Yeah.
That was fairly unattainable. You'd see, but then you'd see things like James Brown doing all these quick moves, and then he'd do a split.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't think I can do that, but that is amazing. Let's see, who else? There's probably some other pop stars that I saw. Some of them tend to just wriggle around, and it's kind of expressive, but it doesn't seem to be worked out. The idea of working something out might have been anathema to pop stars at that time. Then let's see, later on, I remember seeing some street dancers, whether it was other hip-hop dancers or there was a group in LA called the Electric Boogaloos, and there was the Poppers and the Lockers, and all those that had very specific kinds of moves, and I thought, that's amazing. That, not that I should emulate that or try and copy it, but it inspired me that there's all sorts of ways you can move your body.
So did you figure a strategy for your movements, sort of from watching those things and the stylized things that people did?
At first, I had no idea what kind of movement I might be comfortable with. So I didn't move at all. And then gradually I realized that being on stage, there's nothing authentic about it. It's completely artificial. So you can, you can move in a prescribed way. Mm-hmm. That's okay if it fits what you're doing. So I started kind of improvising things, and I had a little video camera at the time, and I would videotape some of my improvisations. I tried one movement where I appeared to be almost always falling down.
Oh yeah.
Stumbling.
Like on Stop Making Sense, you do.
There might be one part where I'm kind of stumbling around.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's see what other ones. I think I might have improvised another one where I'm kind of like a stick figure. Or a puppet with invisible strings.
Yeah.
All that sort of thing.
Because even when you played at the Governor's Ball, you did some raised hands movements that were
That's right.
kind of quite as though puppeteered. Mm-hmm. They were very good.
Thank you.
And you have this fantastic merry laugh. And I wondered, how old were you when it became your laugh?
Oh, I don't remember.
Mm.
I don't remember. I like to laugh like that.
You're good at laughing. It's great.
It does feel like you're letting something out.
Mm. Also, you're kind of letting something in because your laugh seems like an invitation to join in, really. So it feels very nice.
That could be. I've been told, don't laugh at your own jokes. You should tell them with a bit of a straight face and let the listener do the laughing.
I always laugh. I've only got 2 jokes, and no one else finds them funny except me, and I laugh away. But Richard E. Grant was saying that when he was in Withnail, he played everything dead straight to be funny, but you can only do it if you can do it, I suppose.
Yes, it worked in that film.
Yeah, it was so good. And you said, I love to hover in the zone between the known and the unknown. And I wondered, when did you first notice that zone, and why does it feel good?
I'm not sure when I first noticed that, but at some point I realized that, yes, we don't have the answers to everything. And maybe we'll find some answers, but we'll probably never find all the answers to everything, despite the kind of ideas from a century or a couple of centuries ago that we would inevitably know the answers to everything. So I thought, that could be okay. Mm. That could be all right. I have to learn how to accept that. There are things I'm never going to know.
There's so much attachment to certainty in this. I suppose maybe that comes a lot with technology. And I was reading something that said something to do with anxiety and and certainty, and how the quest for certainty actually didn't make you less anxious. It just made that whirring thing go faster.
Yeah, I think it's a false hope. Mm. There's certainly some answers we can discover, but there's others that we probably will never know.
I suppose that makes the zone a great kind of accompaniment, so that you're just this idea of finding out the answers and everything having to have an answer is very anxious making, really. So to occupy the unknown, you know, to be kind of at ease in the zone in between is a great tip for life. I'm going to follow that.
Yeah, I realized that music does that a lot.
Yeah.
And performing does that. You're communicating, but often not in a super direct way. And yet, listeners or viewers, they understand what you're getting at, but you don't have to, sometimes you don't have to say it.
Yeah. It's true. And in your short self-interview that you did, where you interview yourself in different characters, in 1984, you said to yourself, "Never underestimate the power of a good hairdo."
That sounds like one of my attempts at humor, and I managed to say it with a straight face.
Well, you have great hair, and I wondered, do you have a favorite part of your body?
Favorite part of my body? Maybe right here. My clavicle.
Oh, right. I suppose it's a very important. Why is it your favorite part?
It's very confusing. It's kind of like, oh look, I've got a kind of coat hanger in here, and other things are hanging off of it. Seems like, how did that come to be like that? My least favorite part is probably, and I think a lot of people will agree with me, is lower back.
Oh, really?
I mean, I've had, like others, I've had lower back pain, not now, but from time to time. And I feel like, when we evolved to stand upright, it was maybe a little bit too soon.
How do you deal with that? How do you kind of manage it?
Very carefully, you know. I've been lucky; it hasn't been that severe, so I can kind of manage it with gradual, you know, some yoga positions and stretching and those kinds of things in doing that. And at one point I was told, "Oh, you think the problem is your lower back? It's because you have a weak tummy, because that helps hold up your middle." So that was, oh yes, the part that hurts isn't the problem. It's some other part that's causing that.
Yeah, I have a Pilates teacher, and he says, sometimes he tells me to breathe into my muscles and my bones. And it's so abstract, but I've tried it and it seems to work. It's odd when you ask to do things with your body that you can't, you know, they seem to have no science, but you do them and the body seems to like it.
I haven't tried that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Look. Money's falling out of my pocket.
Maybe that's a positive.
Yeah, it's not a donation.
In your film Stop Making Sense, you wear amazing clothes, including the famous big suit. And you said you go on stage as a way of dealing with shyness. And do you think you dress to hide or reveal?
Good question. Right now, we in the band and the dancers, we all wear the same color and all wear the same thing. They kind of look like very nicely made work outfits. And yeah, I like the idea that you can certainly identify each person. We're not trying to erase their personalities or individuality, but it also kind of helps cement us all together as a group or a team or, another kind of organism.
It's very nice that. It seems very friendly the way you have this colour in common, these kind of variations on a look that you're pioneering. Support for the show comes from Anthropic, the team behind Claude. We've all become so accustomed to getting instant answers to any question that crosses our minds, which is understandable. We've all had access to search engines for decades now, but often search engines will trade depth for expediency, and the answers you're given can be incomplete or compromised by advertisers. That's what sets Claude apart. Claude isn't interested in giving you quick and easy answers. When you ask it a question, it's prepared to get into the why with you, to dig deeper and follow you down rabbit holes. What's more is that Claude can also support you with the kind of admin tasks that are tedious to complete on your own, which is how I prefer to use Claude. It helps me with things like cleaning up a cluttered inbox, or summarising meeting notes, or synthesising a plan of action when I want to get started on a new project. In that way, Claude is more like an ally than a simple search engine. Try Claude for free at claude.ai/fashionneurosis and see why problem solvers choose Claude as their thinking partner. I was reading that your former art school friends, Tina Weymouth and Chris France, were the people that suggested you form a band, and you were always the captivating frontman, and Tina Weymouth was like a sort of shimmering sliver behind you. And did you ever dress to complement each other's looks?
Early on, we tried kind of coordinating our outfits. I think at one point we all wore stripy shirts, T-shirts or something like that. It didn't really hold. It didn't really work. I know at one point, early on, I tried, I wanted to basically wear something that didn't mean anything, that had no kind of prior significance, didn't carry any kind of associations. So I thought, oh, well, most of the people, or men at least, or they wear suits. So I went out and bought a really cheap suit. I think it was probably polyester. So when I wore it on stage, it was very hot. And then when I threw it in the washing machine, it shrunk. So I realized some of these conceptual ideas are not very practical.
And was that?
That was around that time.
And was that where the big suit came out of?
That came later. That came. I had the idea when I was in Japan. We were just finishing a tour, and I was talking with some friends there, and one friend was a fashion designer, and he said, sort of tongue-in-cheek, he said, well, you know, David, on stage, everything has to be bigger. Now, he was referring to the movement. Your movement has to be a little bit exaggerated and all of that so that it reads, back into the back of the audience. But I took it very literally. And I thought, okay, now I know what to do with my clothes. I'll make, so I drew on a napkin a suit that was really big, sort of influenced by a Japanese No theater, where they wear these very big kind of rectangular outfits. Of course, they don't look like a Western suit, but they have that kind of very boxy, constructed look.
Yeah, because it's almost like a building, isn't it? With
In a way, yeah, you
person.
inhabit it.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing, because when you then take the jacket off, the trousers is really another kind of, what is happening there? It's sort of like another architectural structure rather than...
Yeah, there's all these girders and shoulder pads and padding and this and that to help hold the thing up. The suit itself is barely touching my body. It's being supported by all these other things that I wear.
And you described yourself as a former bossy pants and a bit of a dictator. And I wondered, is that what broke up Talking Heads?
I'm sure it didn't help. I'm sure it didn't help. But yes, there were times when I had a kind of vision of what I thought a show should be, or how something should be, and a lighting or whatever. And I would get very adamant and bossy about it. Over the years, I've come to realize that that's not the best way to work with people. That there's a way to actually bring them in, to welcome them into what you're doing, and it becomes more of a collaboration.
Is that how you worked when you worked with Brian Eno?
To some extent, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very much a trade-off. Like, you do this and I'll do this.
Because he's someone with a very powerful vision. And did you find that easy to kind of, flow both ways when you work with him?
Sometimes it was easy, sometimes it was very challenging. Sometimes I think he intentionally wanted to challenge us, or me, and just to see what happens. Sometimes it's nothing much, but sometimes you get something you didn't expect.
Yeah, you definitely got something great. I mean, it's such a fantastic album. I love that. And on your new album, Who is the Sky, you write about love. And in one of the songs it says, is it my body or my brain? And you've recently got married after swearing you'd never marry again. And I wondered if you'd come to any new conclusions about love.
I've got the answers.
I need them.
No, I certainly don't. Well, I believe in my understanding now is we often think that these are strong emotions, might be whatever, chemical or biological or something like that, and we tend to label them as psychological, but there are actual physical and chemical and neurological changes that happen in our brains when we have these kinds of emotions. So there are changes in our bodies and in our brains when we have these emotions. The emotions are not just ethereal things. They kind of, there's actual physical changes that take place.
And did you find that those are sort of different variations of how you'd experienced them before? I'm always interested in how somehow something that seemed challenging or sort of overwhelming suddenly is the opposite, depending on who you're with, I suppose, partly, and maybe your age or...
Oh, definitely with age. Some things I feel like, I know how to do that now.
Yeah.
That's not terrifying. Or yes, I can throw myself in the deep end and realize, oh, no, you'll figure out how to swim.
Yeah, yeah. That's such a great image, actually, because what's the point in anything much if you don't throw yourself in the deep end? And I'm definitely into that now. At this
Well,
point.
yeah, I guess you do have to have a little bit of confidence that you're going to be okay.
But I suppose it's part of that thing to do with the zone between the knowing and the not knowing. It's that, isn't it? And it's quite stimulating.
Yeah, you have to discover how to make this thing work. I'm currently on a concert tour, and as I was beginning to work out what it might be, how it might be, friends would ask me, David, what's it about? What is it what are you trying to say? And I felt kind of stupid because I couldn't give a good answer. I thought, oh, when I start to put things together, it'll tell me what it is it wants to say. I realized if I go in with a preconceived message or statement or something like that, it's going to sound like that.
Yeah.
It's going to sound a bit didactic or stiff or too conceptual. So I kind of let it evolve. I trust that that something will happen.
Yeah, that's really nice. Especially when you do have things to say, but they can become almost like armor rather than sort of being more inviting.
Mm-hmm.
And people pay more attention, I think, when it's more inviting. There's something in it for them.
Yes. It's better to welcome people in than to just lecture them.
Mm-hmm. I always like in the vampire films, they can only go somewhere when someone invites them in, and they standing around on the doorstep dropping hints to the humans to say the magic words.
Yes. You must have seen, there was that vampire movie, Let the Right One In.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Oh, I loved it.
God, that was so good.
That was another another failed dinner party conversation.
I bet.
When I expressed, I was telling the story of that film. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work as a story. It's so horrific.
Yeah.
My favorite one is What We Do in the Shadows, about the three vampires who...
Oh, yeah, that's the comedy one.
Oh, it's so good. Mm-hmm. And I've watched that a couple of times, the whole series.
Wow.
Yeah, I find it very relaxing and so funny and anarchic. It just hits the sweet spot for me. I love it. And if you fancy someone and don't like what they're wearing, does it kill your attraction to them?
Could be, yes, it could be. If I think someone's wearing something very inappropriate, or you go, oh, this person's very attractive or really intelligent or really interesting, or they really have something to say. And they're wearing something ridiculous. You sometimes have to get past that.
And what would the ridiculous thing be? Does anything spring to mind?
Well, I have to say this current trend of whatever nude dressing is when a few celebrities were doing it, okay, but now everyone feels like, oh yes, I have to expose myself. Yes.
Anything in particular? What exactly is nude dressing?
Men haven't started doing it yet, but maybe that's yet to come. but a lot of female celebrities have been doing it, and kind of revealing their breasts and their backsides and also all sorts of bits that were kind of generally covered up in the past. Yeah.
So that would...
There's nothing wrong with the human body, but yes, it's a bit of a trend that's run away at the moment.
I quite admire it in a way, because I've had so many hang-ups about my body through my life, and always wanted to wear something that covered my from chin to toe, ideally. And now I'm sort of more appreciative of it. When I see people wearing very little, I don't know how they can not worry about what happens to everything.
Yeah. I've thought that as well. I've thought, careful you don't lean forward. that might, yes. Everything might just fall out.
I have a lot of respect for that. I think, God, how great to be that free and to be able to be confident that this delicate arrangement will stay in place. It seems kind of fantastic. But it's often said that creative people are not the best at managing business. We may know what we want, but we don't always know how to get it done. This is where I use Claude. Not to have ideas for me, but to help me navigate the administrative tedium of bringing my ideas to life. My inbox is full of unread emails. This is my system for reminding myself of things left to do. Claude looks at my inbox and my calendar and tells me what needs my attention and what can safely be ignored. Before meetings, Claude reads long email threads so I don't have to pretend I can remember everything. Claude helps me keep track of what I said I'd do, what I've already done, and what everyone else has quietly forgotten. And when I'm working on a project, I can give Claude some context, and it helps me sort through my ideas and prioritize the order of things. To me, Claude feels less like a tool and more like an authoritative ally. I can spend more time thinking, listening, and making decisions, and less time managing chaos. Try it for yourself at claude.ai/fashionneurosis. In your book, How Music Works, one of your chapters is called Crappy Sound Forever, and you talk about a doctor who treated psychotic patients with music and said it could soothe and calm them. And then he claimed that the natural properties of music were lost in the rush to digitize, and his patients became agitated and twitchy when they were played digitized music. And do you think that's why people love live music so much?
Well, yes, they might like the sound of live performances. I think a good part of that is people love being together with other people who are there to see and hear the same thing. It's a kind of big communal event where people join together with kind of like-minded people, or so they imagine at least. And the music, I hope they like the music, but sometimes it seems the music is really just a facilitator.
I mean, it was so interesting, that whole chapter about, and you talk about the dots and dashes of digitized music, and immediately it doesn't seem to sort of flood into your heart the way you imagine music does. And then this crappy sound thing, and it was such a brilliant story about how music technology was developed quite a lot for phone. It was sort of came out of phone companies and the kind of improvement of sound when you're on the phone.
Yes, it was what's the least amount of information that you can transmit via a phone line and it still be intelligible as and identifiable as the person you're talking to. And because the phone companies wanted to cram as many conversations into the phone lines as possible, especially in the kind of international undersea cables where the number was kind of limited. So they kind of developed this kind of encoding technology where you could kind of encode voices and break them down eventually into digital bits. And that allowed them to kind of put a lot of signals and a lot of voices into kind of a small number of lines. And then the similar kind of thing was applied to music. How low, or kind of how much can you reduce the information and it still kind of perceptually sounds like the music you're kind of used to hearing?
It's such a sort of contradiction, but you say it's very effective too.
Yeah, it really fools us.
Yeah. Did you ever read Neil Young's autobiography, where he spent quite a lot of years dedicating himself to having another platform for hearing music that isn't so reductive? I don't know did you ever?
No, I didn't. I haven't read that, but I'm aware that, yes, he really focused on that.
Yeah.
For quite a bit, for kind of higher quality, higher resolution digital music files.
Yeah. I suppose things are always interesting when they're a chord. I mean, even in, how to handle experiences of life, I think of things as chords. So you got some sort of creative thing going alongside your misery. Or sometimes when I've been in a breakup from a relationship, and that person, it's like my thoughts are like chords where they're always part of my thought until eventually, thank God, it wears off. But have you ever had that experience?
Maybe not exactly, but I've noticed with music, a little bit like what you're saying, you can have conflicting emotions occurring simultaneously. You can have a song where the words are really sad or tragic, but the music is really kind of has a great groove, and it's kind of makes you want to, it's uplifting and dynamic and ecstatic. So you've got two completely different feelings going on simultaneously, which I think echoes a lot of what we feel sometimes.
It feels like, if I think back to when I first heard your music and why it just went in so fast and it was immediate, and it was something to do with some feeling of urgent questioning of life with all this fantastic kind of beat and things slightly to do with funk music, which I've always loved. And it was like, it was like when everything goes in at the same time, it sort of combined it so perfectly. And you've spoken about your autism, and I wondered, has it changed as you've got older?
Oh, yeah. I think I was much more socially uncomfortable when I was younger. Whatever it was fairly mild, but I remember at some point, I forget what year it was, when there was a number of articles coming out in different magazines about the spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
And a friend a friend read aloud to me some of the symptoms that were described. She said, "David, this is you." I said, "Well, sounds like it." Yes.
What in particular? Was there anything you remember?
Well, being somewhat socially uncomfortable, being maybe overly literal,
Oh, yeah.
maybe being a tendency to sometimes focus very intently on some task or project or whatever. They're not all negatives. Some of them are kind of positives.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was reading a bit about ADHD, because there's also so much about it. And I read that you could grow out of it. And I recognized quite a lot of the things that I'd experienced, sort of chaos, really, and fuzziness, not dynamicness. I like the idea of being hyper-focused, but I feel like I'm... And then I thought, oh, yeah, I've had that. And now I'm going somewhere else, which feels much better because it's more... I like being able to think of what I have to do and doing it instead of it crashing around in my memory somewhere.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it was really good because there's such a diagnosis industry these days, and I don't know how helpful that always is.
Yeah, sometimes it seems like the people are looking for diseases so they can sell cures.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, certainly it's great for a lot of extreme sort of misery that it causes people. But somebody told me that their child was suffering from defiance disorder. And I thought, isn't that what children are supposed to have? You know, you're supposed to question things. It just sounded so tragic.
You mean kind of, no, Mom, I'm not going to do that. That kind of thing.
I mean,
Yes, that's what they do from time to time.
yeah, I mean, that's what you'd hope for. But I mean, and I watched your Tiny Desk concert, and you were all wearing these blue outfits that you were talking about, and how did you come to that color?
It was very practical. I did want a bright color.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted a bright color. We'd done a lot of gray in the past. I said, I'm done with your gray. So we went to a stage, turned on the stage lights, and I had brought with me a big bag of fabric swatches. And I also had a couple of, I think they were cheap pajamas that I bought online, but in bright colors.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, let's look at all these different things under the light and see what's going to work. And the lighting designer that I worked with said, basically the blue and the orange are working really well. The green, when you put a warm light on it, it tends to get muddy, the color.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just basically color science. So we just said, okay, we'll see if we can have both of those colors and alternate, one on one day and one on another day.
Oh, right. Yeah, because I saw the blue, and I love Tiny Desk. And why do musicians love to gather behind that small space? What's it? What do you love about it?
It's kind of a level playing field. Everyone basically is restricted in the same way.
Oh, right.
You can't be doing a lot of choreography in there. You're squeezing into this tiny space. You can't have all your whatever lights and effects and whatever else you want to use. You're kind of reduced to just kind of playing, basically, playing and singing. So it's nice. It's the same. It makes every act have to kind of deal with the same restrictions.
Yeah, a tight edit is sometimes a liberating thing, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Do you think that's why everyone enjoys doing that so much?
Yes. Yes, you get to hear their performance or see it or hear their songs kind of stripped of a lot of the extra baggage.
Yeah, I love it. The bigger the group, the better. I watched one with Trouble Funk and there were so many people. It was so good.
You can barely fit in there.
I know. And in the credits to Stop Making Sense, there's a special thanks to Paul Thomas Anderson, and I wondered what he did on the film.
He didn't do anything on the film. He did a chat and kind of presented the film when we screened it, the re-release, the kind of re-release version a few years ago in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I was curious. He's such a fantastic filmmaker, and I love his work. And I was so glad to spot his name on this fantastic.
Yeah, it was really nice of him to do that.
Yeah, he's an amazing director. I hope he wins the Oscar. Sure he will. Well, thank you so much, David Byrne, for being on Fashion Neurosis.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been, I've had quite a few laughs, and this is very relaxing. If I didn't have to be somewhere else, I'd happily just fall asleep here.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's been
You're welcome.
great. Thanks again to Anthropic, the team behind Claude, for supporting this show. Claude is the AI for people who want a thinking partner, people who aren't satisfied with good enough, but instead want to understand the why of the thing more than just getting a simple answer. If that sounds like you can try Claude for free at claude.ai/fashionneurosis.